good morning, good morning. Word up, let's get worked up this morning. We said this is no week, and we said this week there's no God we should have before us except God, Jehovah. And we said that when we have him, we have no weapon and no tongue that will come against us that will prosper. But we said yesterday, with no vision, we'll eventually just fall and fail, because we are wandering around without doing and going where God has already directed us to go. So this morning, Jesus tells the parable about the sower. He says, some that fell among thorns, and when they heard it, they went forth and they were choked out by the cares of the world and the pleasures of this life. And he said, and bring forth what? No fruit of perfection. So we have to understand that there will be no fruit, and we'll be fruitless if we find ourselves doing those things that have not been commanded us to do by God. Jesus preached and he taught so much about fruit. He cursed the fig tree that was not producing, and then he told us to prune those branches that are not producing in our lives. He even judged the unfruitful, unfaithful, unprofitable servant. And he'll also judge us for having no fruit and being fruitless. See, everything God created, he did it to be able to produce fruit. So no fruit and fruitless was always somehow a sign of barrenness or disobedience or failure or even loss of your inheritance. No fruit meant that you had no future. That was nothing that you would leave behind. So the world do not want you to produce. It wants you to be have no fruit and to be fruitless. But the thing is, God gave each one of us the seeds of his word to be able to produce if we would only sow. But you have to understand the golden rule of life is that you only reap what you sow. So I want to encourage you to be able to sow the seeds of your faith, to cultivate it, nurture it, so that you can be able to harvest the fruits of perfection that God has for your life. Don't die with no fruit. Be fruitless when you have the seeds that God has given you to sow. Don't let your fruit be nothing. Nothing from nothing leaves you nothing. And it says that if you get nothing in, you're going to end up with nothing out. So it's all about arithmetic. So we want to encourage you this morning to be able to be fruitful. Don't die with no fruit. Sow the seeds that God has provided you, and then you'll be able to reap all the big benefits that he has for your life. Let's get worked up this morning. Word up. Be blessed.